In the first dream, I remember I'm at my aunt's house and we're just hanging out. I think my cousins are there. So we're just talking and hanging out and like socializing. And that's when I suddenly realized that my cousin is like back home living with his mom at my aunt's house. And just by seeing that, like I realized that it's because he's like not with his wife anymore. Like he's in the middle of a divorce or something. And we're all just sitting around and kind of talking in a group or something like that, I think. And I think we're like playing, it's like we're playing board games and talking and socializing, like a small gathering. But I realized that my cousin's belongings are, I guess, there at my aunt's house. And somehow I just realized that he's actually living there now. So it's like he's moved back in with his mom and dad. And so then I think I kind of make a discreet comment. Like I'm trying to find out more information, but I'm not trying to be too forward. So I make a comment about like why are you here type of thing, why are you living here? And that's when he kind of makes he tells me that getting a divorce, like he tells me he's in the middle of getting a divorce and that a divorce is inevitable. And he kind of gets depressed and kind of sad there. And my other, like there's a couple of us, I guess, like some other cousins. Actually, I think yeah, he has siblings too. I don't even know which cousin it is, but I think he has an older brother and a younger sister. And we're all there like just talking. And so now suddenly, because he's sad and like depressed, we decide to go out, like go somewhere to like hang out. And we're like, oh, we should go like do something because my cousin's depressed. And I think somebody suggests going to the movies or something like that. But before we can even get together to leave, I think when my cousin leaves before us, like he just takes off. I guess because he was suddenly sad and depressed or angry, and we have to go find him. So we rush outside and we're getting ready to drive somewhere, and we're taking guesses as to where we think he is. And just as we leave the building or the house, it looks really weird, like the layout of the house and the area we are. It doesn't look realistic. It just looks weird. And so we leave the house to go into the car and drive to. I think we all assume he's at a movie theater. I think so, like a shopping mall that's close by. That we're like, oh, he probably went there. He always goes there when he wants to be alone. But we leave the house, and as we're walking outside, like down the stairs and down towards like the driveway or something, he's on the street and he's skateboarding, which is weird because he's never skateboarded before, and somehow he's learned how to skateboard. And we're just like, oh, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, well, like he wants to be left alone and he wants to just skateboard because skateboarding is his new passion or some weird thing like that. And that's it. That's all I remember from that little part of the dream, which was weird. And then another dream I had was I'm at work and I'm talking to a couple coworkers. There's all these new weird people. And I think I'm in the washroom. It's like a washroom slash change room. And I think it's the end of our shift or something. And I'm talking to one of my coworkers who's like a friend of mine. And somebody else walks into like change room or washroom, and he's leaving. It's like the end of his shift or something. And he gives us props, and I give him a props. Like I put out my hand and I give him props too. And then as he's leaving, I didn't even get a good look at him the first time. So then I get a good look at him, and I realize that this guy is a person who I used to be good friends with, but he ended up screwing me over. And he's like, I don't like him anymore. I kind of hate him, and I can't believe he's back here. Like he's been hired at this new job. So I'm at this new company or my company or whatever that I work for, and they've hired this guy who I used to work with at a previous job, who ended up becoming an asshole or something like that. And I'm like suddenly so pissed off that when I realize it's him, I'm like, oh my god. I'm talking to my like the other guy, my friend, like about him. I'm like, oh man, this guy, I used to work with him. He's a real piece of shit. He stole money from me, and he's just a mean guy, and he's a narcissist and this and that. I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna suck having to work with him now at this job because I already worked with him previously at the old job. And suddenly the dream kind of shifts, and we're inside of this office, and there's a bunch of tables and desks, and we're having like a big group meeting or something. But it also looks like a classroom in a sense. So it's like I'm in a classroom, like in high school or university, but I'm also at work having a meeting. It's really weird. So there's like this line of desks, and we're all sitting down. And now that same employee that was hired, who I used to work with, instead of being that guy from work, it's some old guy from high school that I used to know, like, a long time ago. I used to be friends with him in high school, and it's actually him now that's been hired, and he's just sitting there, and I don't like the guy for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I know I don't like him. And we're all just sitting there, and then now the dream kind of shifts from work to being like, instead of being work, it's school, and I'm actually back in like high school again. And we're just sitting there, and the teacher is talking about like a project, and we have to submit our like assignments and homework or whatever. And I think they're handing assignments back to us, and so I get like an essay back or something. I think it's an essay. The teacher starts handing them back, and I look at it, and I think my grade is 64. Yeah, I remember that. It was a 64. So I passed, but barely. And so I'm kind of embarrassed because I know in the dream I realize anything under a 60 is a fail. It's like a thick essay, too. I remember there's like lots of pages to it. So it's a six. Yeah, I got a 64%, which I guess would be like a C, mid C. And my friend kind of looks at it, and I think he grabs it at one point trying to go through it, and he's surprised that I got such a low grade. And I don't remember what the topic was or what classroom this even was, but it was just I just remember we're sitting down getting our getting our essays back, and I got a 64%, and it was way too low. I was kind of like pissed off at myself, like how could I get such a low grade? And it's so weird because these dreams just seem to. I felt like they were shifting from like shifting from scene to scene, and then suddenly like I think the same dream kind of shifts, and now instead of being in a classroom with desks and stuff, we're in like a gymnasium and we're playing basketball. So it's just a bunch of us standing around playing basketball. But I think that the two dreams, it's like I can barely remember, but the dreams were very like shifted, and like they were kind of crossing into each other somehow. Like the basketball thing, it was with those coworkers and the students, but at the same time, I think I was also playing with my cousins. It's kind of like this weird shifting or phasing in and out. Because the last few days, these dreams have been very like just different, harder to remember, harder to recall. I don't even know why, but anyway, so yeah, we're just playing basketball in like a gymnasium, but it's just like it's not a game. It's like a gym class slash community center where it's just like a free for all type thing, and we're playing basketball, shooting the hoops and stuff, whatever. And I'm doing something else too at one point. It's like I'm eating also. It's like I have a big plate and I'm trying to like eat my dinner but also play basketball at the same time. So I'm like passing the ball with one hand or shooting with one hand while having this big tray of food or something like that. And then that same dream kind of shifts. Again, lots of shifting. Like that small scene kind of shifts, and now I'm in my driveway, and the basketball court or like the basketball net is actually in my driveway. And I'm playing basketball with my daughter. My younger daughter and me are playing basketball outside, and it's late too. It's kind of like getting dark. You can't even see that well. And I think so. She's been asking me to teach her so. So I think I'm teaching my daughter how to play basketball, how to shoot the ball and stuff in this driveway. And it's a shared driveway with a neighbor. And it's weird because we both have basketball nets, so it makes no sense. So like I have a basketball net, and he has one like right next to mine, but his is kind of like older and damaged, and it looks like it's slightly bent and crooked. And so in the dream, I realized the neighbor also uses my basketball net just because it's like nicer and newer and it's just set up nicer. So, and at one point he's there too. So like the neighbor is suddenly playing basketball with me or practicing taking shots or whatever. And so then I realized that the basketball like is low in air, and I take it to my car and I use my car's like tire pressure, like my car's air pump rather. Yeah, I use that to inflate it. So I take the basketball to my car, and then I open the trunk, and I think I have some sort of like I have like an air pump, like a tire pump, but it also has an adapter for the basketball. So I fill up the basketball, and it works really quickly, right? It fills it up really fast. But then I realize it's kind of like made the ball too big, and it's kind of like unrealistically big. And the basketball, like technically, it should have like popped or something, but it's like the size of those. Like kids have those weird like bouncy rubber balls, like the big ones, like the round ones they sell at Walmart. And I'm like bouncing it on the ground, and suddenly like my daughter's gone, like she's not there. I think she's gone back inside the house. So now I'm just by myself in the driveway playing basketball. And it's weird because suddenly it's also winter. It's like I think it was winter the whole time. Well, I noticed there's like snow around, like a little bit of snow on the ground. and it's cold, but I'm still outside at nighttime by myself playing basketball suddenly. And so I keep trying to, and now like I have this oversized basketball and it hasn't popped, but it's like I knew it could have popped. And every time I bounce it on the ground, I can literally feel like the little hole that you obviously fill in the air. I can feel air coming out of there, like there's like a pressure air on my hand. So each time I bounce the basketball, I feel pressure hit my like air pressure hit my hand, but the ball never gets smaller. It just stays big size. And it's like in my mind, I also know it can pop at any time. So every single time I bounce this ball, I'm like, it can pop, but I just keep doing it anyway. So I'm like, I'm bouncing this basketball and I think I keep shooting it at, yeah, I keep shooting it at the net, but because the basketball is oversized, it won't go in the rim, obviously. It won't go through the basketball net. And I keep like throwing it and I miss and I keep doing it and I miss. And I think at one point I realized I'm just trying to get the ball to kind of get stuck in there. Like I wanted to just store it in the rim. But because the basketball is too big, I throw it and it just suddenly lands on the rim, like, and it doesn't go through, but it just stays there. And it's like, that's what I wanted to do all along. Like I'm storing the basketball on the basketball net. And so once I've done that, I think the neighbor's also outside, and it makes no sense again because it's winter, but the neighbor's like in the middle of gardening. They're doing some sort of gardening project, and I realize he's ruined my grass. So the entire time I've been playing basketball, it's like people have been coming and going at my neighbor's house, and I realize he's messed up my grass, and he's kind of trying to fix it as well. So he has some tools like a shovel and stuff, and he's trying to fix the. I think it was like a hole. He had accidentally dug a hole or something. It didn't make much sense, but it was like it wasn't even that big, but it was like this weird little hole in my grass in my yard, and the neighbor's trying to fix it while I'm playing basketball, and then I get the basketball like stuck up on the net like I wanted to, and then I go inside. I open up the door to go into my house, and suddenly I realize there's a ton of snow inside the door, like just inside the door, but like a lot, probably like floor to ceiling, probably like a few feet deep into the house somehow. And it makes no sense because obviously the snow can't snow inside the house, but in the dream, I realized that the snow, it's like some sort of hot and cold, some sort of hot and cold condensation. Instead of like causing water from condensation, it's caused snow to build up inside of the house. So again, it makes no sense, but so I'm just inside the entrance. I've opened the door and there's a ton of snow around me, and I'm using the shovel to shovel the snow and throw it outside of the door. And I realized it has something to do with the heater, like because the heater was not functioning properly. No, I think it's because it wasn't hot enough. Because it wasn't hot enough, somehow snow has accumulated inside of the inside of the house. Some sort of weird like snow condensation thing. And so I'm just shoveling the snow out of the door. And that's all I remember from that dream. And again, there's a lot of these weird vague dreams, like shifting from dream to dream. And I did have another dream. This one's even more vague. And I barely remembered, but I think it was okay, it was some had something to do with Leonardo DiCaprio. So Leonardo DiCaprio was somewhere. I think it was like some public place, and I think he's signing autographs. Or we're all like we're all there, and we're fans, and we're trying to talk to him or ask him questions, and he's just standing around signing autographs. And I think I even talked to him at one point. I think I managed to ask him a question. That's what it was. Yeah, I get him to sign an autograph for me, and I get him to sign an autograph, and I think I'm asking him a question. And there's fans all like it's busy. There's like a ton of people around, and I ask him a question about one of his movies. I think it's like an older movie he was in or something like that. And I think I ask him a question about the movie, just some random question about it, and I can't remember what he says. This part of the dream is very vague, but that's all it was. It was just it was Leonardo DiCaprio standing outside somewhere public, and he's signing autographs for us. And it was very realistic, like very normal looking, nothing weird. And I asked him a question about like I think an old movie, like maybe I think it was Romeo and Juliet, maybe something like that, the one he was in with Claire Danes. And I asked him a question about the movie, like just something about his acting or like. But, like, I remember I was, like, really excited, and I'm a huge fan, and I'm, like, in the dream all happy to get, like, an autograph or something like that, and that's all I remember. Yeah, that's it. I think that's all I remember from all my dreams.